Volkswagen is going to cut 100,000 jobs.
It might be the biggest restructuring in Volkswagen's history.
Cloud of uncertainty is settling over the workforce at Volkswagen.
Reported VW job cuts then.
That's about 15% of its workforce.
660,000 member global workforce.
And on top of that, they are talking about closing up to 4 factories inside Germany.
That the carmaker was considering closing down 4 of its factories in Germany.
It was the most disruptive industrial action against the company in decades.
Das ist das, worum es hier bei Volkswagen im Konzern mit den starken Marken geht.
We are talking about the VW here, the second best-selling car makers in the world after Toyota. This is the company that was literally built to put Germany on wheels.
Maker of the iconic people's car, intended as an affordable everyday runabout. We must cut our costs and become more profitable.
It came back from a world war.
At the end of 1946, more than 7,500 Volkswagens had emerged from the factory.
It came back from a diesel scandal, which costed something like $30 billion.
Because of their greed to sell more cars.
Not on a few cars, on 11 million vehicles worldwide.
The biggest scandal in automobile history.
Volkswagen has paid over $30 billion in costs and fines so far.
And it is still walked out of that as one of the biggest car makers on the planet. And now it's sitting in a room in Wolfsburg and asking whether it should be building cars in Germany at all. Let's look at the financial situation first. Last year, Volkswagen's profit fell 53%, more than half, from about 19 billion euros down to under 9.
Earnings came down to 9 billion and this is an all-time peak number.
Its profit margin is now 2.8%. In simple words, that means if they sell you a $50,000 car, they keep about $1,400. That's the entire profit for building, shipping, and selling it to you.
Yeah, we are not loss-making and we don't want to be loss-making and we are not expecting to be loss-making.
And Porsche, one of the Volkswagen's premium sub-brands, the brand that should print money, right? It used to keep 14.5 cents out of every dollar. Now it keeps a little over 1 cent.
Additional cuts will now hit premium brands, including Audi and Porsche, as well as the company's software subsidiary, Cariat.
We lost around 25% overall volume.
This situation affected VW's production. For example, in Wolfsburg, the main VW plant built 1.4 million cars in 2015. Today, it's under 780,000, and 2 of its 4 production lines are just sitting there, not running. Volkswagen didn't get taken down by one big mistake. There are many reasons, but I just want to highlight 5 main reasons. The reasons that VW should blame itself for. And as we go through the problems, it gets worse. Starting with number 5. They built factories for cars nobody bought. About 10 years ago, Volkswagen decided electric was the one, the future. They thought that they were too late for the EV party.
But they must do this in an increasingly competitive environment where consumers have more enticing products to choose from.
Especially since the company's emissions scandal is still fresh in people's minds.
Herbert Diess is a major player at VW, pushing extremely aggressive EV strategy.
And we should right here, right now, go for it.
The EVs are just part of a core strategy change for the automaker.
So they took their old factories, renovated and rebuilt them to make electric cars and nothing else. Zwickau in eastern Germany is the best example. A beautiful old plant, long history, and Volkswagen spent around 1.2 billion euros turning it into an all-electric factory.
Changing landscape where EVs and software led the way.
Then the customers didn't buy as expected.
Is this the way forward? And can its legacy help bring Volkswagen back to the top?
Volkswagen built its whole plan around Europe, buying about 5 million electric cars a year by 2026. In reality, Europeans are buying 3 million. In America, they plan for 4 million EVs, and Americans are getting only 2.5. Their plan was very optimistic. So Zwickau, that billion-euro electric future, is heading toward running at 42% of what it can build. Less than half. And the factory costs almost the same whether it's building 1,000 cars a day or 10. The building, the heating, the machines, the people, that's all still there. So a half-empty factory isn't half a problem. It's like a hole in the floor that money falls through every day. And honestly, they weren't wrong about people would buy electric cars, but they were wrong about how many and how fast. And that guess is now sitting underneath 100,000 jobs.
The question is, how easily can it make those cuts?
One could argue that these cuts should have been made years ago.
So to fix this horrible financial situation, VW did what they should do: reduce costs. And one of the worst places to cut costs is the build quality.
Volkswagen now says it has to match its costs to that reality. One area of focus is production capacity.
You're making too many cars for a fixed population.
They broke their own cars. Volkswagen used to mean one simple thing: it felt solid. They called it a million-kilometer car. The quality of VW cars and their German engineering matched their prices. That's why people bought millions of VWs year over year. Then everything changed. It's a cliche, but it's true. Engineers were replaced by accountants. And then you know the story. Recalls,
VW emissions cheating scandal and recall.
The owners of some Volkswagen models.
Massive recalls of Volkswagen cars.
Volkswagen cars, part of the worldwide recall.
You need to hear about before you leave for work. Volkswagen.
A recall for over 13,000 Volkswagen vehicles.
Build quality issues.
This thing's a workhorse that I don't baby at all. Though all 4 tires were bald before 30,000 miles. Color, you can clearly see marks, wear, and discoloration. There's also a small spot on the door where I rest my elbow.
Have dried out the oil from the surface layer of plastic.
Reliability issues.
Consumer Reports 2023 Reliability Survey, Volkswagen 27th and Audi is 19th.
The turbo is faulty and needs replacement.
Infamous diesel scandal, a seismic event that shook the automotive landscape in 2015.
But direct injection engines all suffer from this at certain point. Volkswagen is very shady about timing belt intervals, saying it should last forever.
Cheaper materials tend to have been used. Roof trim panels are no longer covered in fabric, and everything under the door handles and armrests is simply molded and made of hard plastic.
And the list goes on and on. Let me give you some annoying examples. Out of nowhere, they decided to call the normal buttons old-fashioned. So the new Golf and the ID cars came with touch sliders instead of switches. Touchpads on the steering wheel you'd set off by accident every time you turned the corner. Screens that froze and lagged. And this wasn't just annoying. Volkswagen had to recall more than 88,000 ID4s in North America because the infotainment systems were resetting themselves while people were driving. And the reverse camera sometimes just didn't come on when you put the car in reverse.
Are being recalled. A software bug means the panel may fail to show the car's speed, fuel, and other important information.
Then look at the mechanical part, which is supposed to be the part that they can get wrong. The small hybrid batteries in Golf were dying. The gearboxes were juddering. The trim was rattling. Now let's ask the only question that matters here. Who saved money? Because every one of those decisions saved somebody something. Touch sliders are cheaper than switches. Thinner trim is cheaper than thick trim. A supplier's gearbox is cheaper than your own. And every one of those savings showed up on a spreadsheet in a good quarter, years before it showed up in your cars. The money that used to go into building a reliable car got moved over to pay for software. And then the software didn't work either. They gave up the thing they were the best in the world at to chase the thing they were not good at. 14 billion euros software that bought nothing. In 2020, Volkswagen built its own software company inside itself and called it Carriot.
Carriot is the in-house tech partner of all VW Group brands.
At Carriot, we create the code that powers the cars of the Volkswagen Group.
Honestly, that was a good plan. Write one system that runs every car in the group. VW, Audi, Porsche, Skoda, and all the sub-brands under one software system.
For a smooth, safe, and more entertaining journey. When we team up, that's when your car turns into a true digital companion.
They put roughly 14 billion euros into it. But It never worked. They hired 6,000 people fast. Somebody described the hiring like this: they took anyone who could carry a laptop.
Provide our developers the best environment so that they can be creative and develop our innovative services for our customers.
The unit had no budget of its own, so it went begging the car brands for money every time it wanted to do anything. It was full of managers and short on people who could actually write code. As a result, the Porsche Macan EV was late. The Audi Q6 was late, both of them for more than a year. And the big next generation platform, the one that was finally supposed to make electric cars profitable, got pushed toward the end of the decade. Parts of it all the way to 2032. Then Volkswagen did a thing that I still can't get over. They gave up and paid Rivian, an American startup that has never turned a profit, $5.8 billion to use Rivian's software instead. It's really strange.
Rivian announcing, along with Volkswagen, that Volkswagen will be investing $5 billion in Rivian.
The biggest car maker in Europe spent 14 billion euros to write the software. Couldn't do it, and then they bought it from a startup in California.
The software-defined vehicle space having a very difficult time doing it.
Since its launch troubles, Porsche said it would expand its relationship with Google for infotainment software.
Speaking of leaving a software, it seems that they should leave their biggest market, which is China. For 20 years, China was the money. Roughly 1 in every 3 Volkswagens went to China.
Since then, more so than any Western auto company, VW has thrived on China sales.
And Chinese profits were paying for the German factories, the German wages, and the German pensions. China was the main reason that all of it worked.
In 2019, sales hit nearly 4 million units, but then the bottom fell out.
Then China grew up and stopped paying them like before.
There's a reason to believe that China is just the canary in the coal mine.
For example, in 2020, foreign car makers had 62% of the Chinese market. By 2024, 36%. The German brands went from 24% down to 15%. The reason is simple. The meaning of luxury is different in East and West. In the West, luxury still means leather, chrome, and a badge that took 100 years to build. In China, luxury means the car talks to you, parks itself, and the screen works like your phone works, and it costs half as much. For example, Xiaomi, a phone company, released a car called the SU7.
Today, Xiaomi is a giant that has the world's fastest growing car business.
But now Xiaomi is making EVs, something Apple abandoned after investing billions.
In China, it outsold the Porsche Taycan 74-1. And accordingly, Porsche sales in China dropped 33% in the first half of this year.
China by more than a quarter. Porsche blamed that on difficult market conditions in the luxury segment and intense competition for fully electric models.
And they're closing almost a third of their Chinese dealerships.
In response, they've launched a cost-cutting initiative involving closing dealerships and laying off staff, which has become major news in the automotive sector.
From 116 down to 80. And one of the most strategic mistakes that VW made, they missed hybrids almost completely, while Chinese brands were selling millions of plug-in hybrids. Or Toyota, dominating internationally with their various hybrids. Volkswagen had nothing to offer. They have big problems, but nobody is allowed to fix it. This is whole another level. Let me explain it. Volkswagen isn't a normal company.
VW's labor coalition is in a unique position to block any major changes, such as closures.
There is a German law from 1960. People call it the Volkswagen Law,
which tilts power in the company toward labor. It gives the German state of Lower Saxony 2 voting members on the supervisory board.
The state of Lower Saxony is also one of VW's largest shareholders and has typically sided with labor.
And it says the big decisions at Volkswagen, like closing a factory, need 80% of the shareholder vote, not the normal 75%. And the German state of Lower Saxony holds 20% of the votes.
Only around 11% of the company's shares are widely distributed. More than half is held by Porsche Holding, controlled by the Porsche Piëch family. 17% belongs to the Gulf state of Qatar, and 20% is owned by the German state of Lower Saxony, including the Golden State.
20% is enough to block anything, permanently. And Lower Saxony isn't an investor, it's politicians. They are one of the main decision makers. German law also hands the workers half the seats on the supervisory board, 10 out of 20. The head of the Works Council has said publicly that closing factories is a taboo, and that she'll fight it with everything she has. VW literally can't save itself, because people who are carrying the risk can't make the decisions, and the people making the decisions aren't carrying the risk. Volkswagen didn't lose because Germans forgot how to build cars. They have everything. Best talents, best engineers, a million years of experience, money, materials, everything. But it seems it isn't allowed to. Of course, they made a lot of wrong strategic decisions. They miscalculated the market. They didn't invest in hybrids as they should. But it is still Volkswagen. They are the second best-selling car manufacturer, and we should wait and see if they can fix these issues or it gets worse. Thanks for watching. I'm Said. You've just watched Carisma. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. If you want, you can share this video with yours as well. Thank you again, and I will catch you up in the next one.